Hello everyone and welcome to the Sydney International Shooting Centre for Day 3 of the World Shooting Parasport Championships. We're here for the R7 Men's 50 metre Rifle 3 Positions SH1 Final, and thank you very much for joining us. My name is Shaq, and with me I am so pleased to have the Paralympic legend Jonas Jakobsen. Jonas, really good to see you today.
Thank you, it's good to be here.
You're no stranger to these competitions in this range particularly, but you've now retired. Sadly, you decided to check out just before I got to the Paralympics in Rio.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was time. I've been doing it for quite a lot of years, so the passion in doing all the training and that wasn't there, so it was time to check out.
But you're still very much involved, particularly in the coaching side of shooting, which we'll talk about, and the shooters that that are currently under your wing. We are just taking a bit of sighting time. There's about 3 minutes left for the sighting time of the shooters before the presentations of them are announced. And we were just saying, Jonas, that there is going to be a new world champion this year because the defending world champion isn't here, unfortunately.
No, Abdullah Sultan Al-Ariani didn't come here. I think he had a before coming.
It's an Emirati shooter from the UAE, but of course we wish him a speedy recovery and hope that he gets back on the range really soon. But his absence here in Sydney does mean that there will be a new world champion this year. And also a good point to mention, or to reiterate, that the World Championships were taking place every 4 years up until last year in 2018. But this year there's a new format starting, so the World Championships are now going to happen every 2 years, starting with this year. So the next one will be in 21, but this is where we're changing the cycle a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
So we can see at the moment, we can just remind ourselves of the qualification scores here, and we see that the Ukrainian Doroshenko, Andriy, finished the qualification with 1172 out of 1200, and that was the top qualification score. Then we had 1165 from Dong Chao of China and 1161 from Park Jin-ho of Korea. It's also worth mentioning about the quota places for the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games. So there were 3 to give away in this R7 final, and one of them in the final, the Russian Kozhemyakin, he took away a quota place from the final, and that's because all of the other entrants weren't eligible to take a quota, because you can't win another, even if it's in another event. So there are 53 quota places across the whole of the World Championships to give away, and as well as Kozhemyakin of Russia, outside of the top 8 who actually made the final, Thailand and France also won quota places from the qualification as well. And Jonas, you were just telling us about your Danish shooter who just missed out.
Yeah, he just missed out. We had a little bit of hopes for him to make the quota there, but he's a brand new shooter. He hasn't shot. It's actually his first international shooting a 3P, so I think he did a good job anyway, and I'm sure he'll get one sooner or later. So.
You said he's only been shooting for 4 months.
He's only been shooting 3P for 4 months. So he shot prone and he shot some other disciplines, but he's never shot 3P. So this was actually the first event for him in 3P.
And his name is?
Jan Winter.
So we'll look out for him in upcoming championships, hopefully.
Yeah, there was Didier from France that took the other quota, and Intanon from Thailand.
So the 8 athletes have just finished their sighting time, and now our announcer on the field of play, Jamie Stangroom, is going to introduce the crowd to them.
Welcome you to the Sydney International Shooting Centre. This is all for the men's 50 metre rifle. Meet the athletes. On firing point A, representing the People's Republic of China with London 2012 Paralympics bronze to his name, give a Sydney welcome to Dong Chao.
Dong Chao on firing point A of China. He also won a silver.
Nice noise,
in the World
Sydney.
Cup.
Keep it going, because on
At
firing
Bahrain in
point B,
2018.
representing Ukraine, this year he picked up R7 gold at the World Cup in Croatia. It's Andrei Doroshenko.
Well, Doroshenko was involved in a non-Paralympic event, the mixed team final yesterday,
And on
last
firing
night in
point
fact,
C,
with Irina
representing the
Shetnik,
Republic
and they took
of
gold just
Korea.
ahead of Slovakia.
He made
It
the
was a good
final at last year's World Championships, and he'll be looking to better the 6th place achieved there is Ju Sun Chul.
So 2015 here on this
Oh
range
yeah.
in Sydney,
G'day, Korea.
Sung Chul
Moving on
won
to
4th
firing
place.
point D, representing Israel. He took away Paralympic silver from London, then added bronze at Rio 2016. To that tally is Duran Shaziri.
And Doron Shaziri is also coached by a famous prone shooter in
On
Olympic
to firing
shooting, Guy
point E,
Starik.
representing the Russian Federation. He's making his first R7 final appearance at an international event. Give it up for Andrei Kozhemyakin.
Bit of an unknown in this particular final, but as we mentioned before, Kozhemyakin won one of the 3 quota places
We are now
available
on
for this
to
competition.
firing point F. World Champions, World Championship in Ho.
World Championships were actually in Korea. I'm pretty sure they're in Korea.
They're actually again in
Chengdu.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are now
not China.
going to firing point G, where we
can
have
forgive Jamie for that one,
representing
Park Jin-ho,
Serbia.
who was also
He is the Rio
Para-Asian
2016
Games champion in
Paralympic champion,
2014
no
when
less,
they happened
is
in
Laszlo
Incheon, also in
Shoranyi.
Laszlo Shoranyi of Serbia is the Olympic champion in this event, the Paralympic champion.
And last, but of course not least, on firing point H, representing the People's Republic of China. This is his first World Championships appearance and makes the final at the first time of asking. It's Tian Fu Gong.
Tian Fu Gong, his best World Cup finish was 6th place
People
in Elaine
of
this
Sydney,
year.
let
so
me tell you that the
little
jury
bit of a
member
novice,
in charge of this final
but has
is
done well to
Mr.
make this
Alex
final.
Merenick of Australia. And our Chief Range Officer for this final is Mr. Owen Oliver. He's also of Australia. There he is. Let the final begin.
We can see that the Ukrainian shooter is in the kneeling position. 6 of the shooters are in wheelchairs, but the rules allow for that.
If you're in a wheelchair, you have a kneeling table that is allowed to be 10 centimeters across, which is the same size that a normal knee would be to rest your elbow on.
The kneeling position is eligible.
Or on the knee, if you're
on the knee.
in the normal position.
Right.
If you're a SH1A, you're not allowed any backrest or any other support. If you're an SH1B, you have less stability, less muscles in your back and in your body, which means you're allowed a bit of a backrest. You can see here that this shooter has a backrest, and there's a little piece of tape on his jacket at the back to show how far up his backrest is allowed to be.
Right.
So if you're a 1B, you have a lower backrest, and if you're 1C, you're allowed a little higher backrest because your disability is a little bit more severe. And if you're a 1A, you're not allowed the backrest at all. But you all shoot in the same class for the same medals.
Yeah. So the competition has started, and Park of Korea goes straight in with a 10.7, a really good shot. Shaziri of Israel with a 10.6, the last of the 8 shooters to take a shot there. We
can see that on the wind flags that the wind is very nice to them today. It's not too windy, and the weather is good for shooting.
Yeah. I have to say, surprisingly, maybe, I don't know about you, Jonas, but we have felt the cold in this range. We didn't expect it to be so cold in Australia, but when the doors are open, you really can feel it a little bit. But it's today. It's early mild. Ju of Korea shot 8.6 with his second shot. As it stands, he's currently leading. In fact, the 2 Koreans are leading the competition at the moment. A 10.9 from Park with his third shot. He started really strongly so far. And of course, the kneeling position is completely unique to Olympic and Paralympic shooting, because this is the only point where it can occur in any competition. Park follows up 10.9 with 1 point less. He hit the 9 ring, 9.9 with his fourth shot.
You can see also that there's a lot of different techniques in how you hold your rifle. Some hold them very, very straight, and some are tilting them a little bit to get them closer to the body.
Park of Korea has finished his series of 5 shots with a 51.6, which looks pretty good. Qian of China, his first time at the World Championships, has finished with a 51, which is a really good score as well. Dong, also of China, finishes with 49.4. Doroshenko, 48. Might be a little bit disappointed with that one. The first-time finalist, Kojim Makin, 47.6.
Sometimes be a little bit tricky because you've just had a little bit of a break to be introduced, and you're getting back into position again. And this position kneeling is very, you need to be exact with your position, otherwise you will get bad shots.
So that was our first series.
And if the wind does pick up, it really plays a part in how the competition's going to go. I mean, it takes a lot of mentality, a lot of scientific calculation to adjust yourself and account for the wind.
Yeah.
And it's always good to mention that we can see on the screen at the moment the circles look quite big, but actually to get a 10.9 is absolutely tiny. You're talking about a diameter of minuscule proportions, literally like the point of a pin, to try and hit a 10.9.
Yeah. The whole 10 is 11 millimeters, so that's almost like your fingernail on your smallest finger. So it is little. It's not big at all.
Just over 1 centimeter diameter for a 10. And they're 50 meters away, so we always like to remind how just how difficult the distance can be. Well, it was Park of Korea who finished that first series of 5 shots with a 51.6, which was the high. I've been really impressed by this range, though. It's in such good condition. It's beautiful to walk around. It's polished. It's clean. And world-class facility.
That's a good facility earlier for international shooting. It's this one, and it's the one up in Brisbane.
Yeah.
The Brisbane range is also very good.
It's beautiful, yeah. I was there. I was lucky enough to be there for the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games, and yeah, it was a lovely place to be as well. A 10.5 with his second shot for the Chinese shooter Tian, who, as it stands, is in second place. Doron Shaziri of Israel with a couple of good 10s so far to start the second series, a 10.1 followed by a 10.5.
And he's now up on third place.
Yep. Which is the position that he finished in at the Rio 2016 Paralympic Games. Qian of China, who seems to be shooting quite fast, earlier than the others. His fourth shot landed as a 10.8, very strong. It's really impressive for the first-time World Championship finalist.
It's not a bad thing to shoot quite quickly, because you, if you get the right rhythm and things are going well for you, there's no point in taking your time longer. You just get the shots out.
Qian finishes his series with a 9.9, but overall it was a stronger series than his first one, so he follows up a 51 with a 51.3 does the Chinese shooter, which is really good going. From the Ukrainian who has it down, who's up third.
Yeah,
very, very good.
Now up on third.
Shaziri just had quite a difficult shot with his fourth, I think. That was an 8.3.
Took him from third place down to 8th.
Yeah. He's got one more shot in the series to try and bring it back, the Israeli. And it was a 9.8, so he finished with 2 9s. and his series finishes 1 point weaker than his first series. But it's Qian Fugang who finishes the second series in first position, less than a point ahead of Park Jin-ho, who dropped a couple of points in that second series. But as we said, a really dramatic improvement for the Ukrainian Doroshenko, who moves into second position and had the highest score of any of the 8 athletes in that second series. 2 of them, Tian and Doroshenko, shot over 51. Kozhem Yakin, who again had a dramatic improvement on his first series, the Russian, by 3 points, finished that series on 50.6.
The first 2 results here at Tian and Park are good results. I expect a little bit more from the rest of the field. But I'm sure they will improve.
Yeah,
it can also change a lot when they go over to the prone. Some are,
yes,
are specialists in one of the 3 positions as well.
Yep, for sure. And prone is generally the most stable of the positions in the 3 in Olympic and Paralympic shooting, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Doroshenko starts really well with the third series. 10.6 is his first shot. Dong of China, 10.8 with his second shot. Shaziri coming back strongly, a 10.5. Ooh, but then he just followed it up with an 8.8. A 10.9 from Park with his second shot.
Here you see the Russian is tilting the rifle in towards him a little bit. And the Korean here, he has got more of a straight up style. And also he has the arm quite straight.
You can see on screen at the moment, just to the left of the Korean, is Laszlo Shoranyi, the Serbian who won gold in this event at the Rio 2016 Paralympic Games. He's currently in 8th though, so he's going to want some improvements to try and move himself up the table. Dong of China has finished the series on a 51.5, which is his best series of the kneeling position so far. So he seems to have found form a little bit. He's taking a good rest at the moment.
Dong Chao is a pretty good prone shooter, so he'll have a good chance to catch up in the next 15 shots as well.
His best World Cup finish was silver in the UAE about a year and a half ago. That's an excellent series from the Korean Park, who finishes with 52.5, his best of the kneeling position so far, and the best total score of any of the athletes so far in this final.
He had 4 really good shots, and the shot that wasn't that good is still a 10, so it was 5 really good shots.
Tian of China finished his series on 50.6, which was the weakest of his series in kneeling so far, but he did finish with a 10.8. And
now it's change over time.
Yeah, so there's going to be a 7-minute changeover.
Each shooter is allowed to have one person helping them getting tables out and helping them with things they need to pick up the one. The change to the size for the next event.
So we can see on screen that Park Jin-ho has a 1-point advantage over his nearest competitor, being Qian Fugang of China, and then it's a 1.7, a little bit more of a breathing gap into third position, occupied by Zhu. So it's Korea and China very much occupying the highest places in the final at the moment. There's a little bit of some breathing room between them and the rest of the 4 athletes. So what are the most important elements of this first changeover? We saw the coaches moving quite quickly, so speed is of the essence.
You need to be pretty quickly. At the same time, you need to do it in a way so you don't panic too much about the time, because you still need to focus on what to do. I had everything set up, so I knew exactly where everything was. I timed it in training before, so I knew exactly how long each little thing you did would take. So I knew I would be down on the ground to shoot prone within 1 minute 20 seconds, which meant that I had about 5.5 minutes to shoot siders.
Right, that seems really quick. But yeah, the system must be used on everything and takes.
I knew when to start taking the things off your chair, when to adjust the rifle, to do it in a certain order to make it easier. So you have a structure for the whole thing to make sure that you do it in the right order.
Yeah. So in your career, you won 17 Paralympic gold medals, which is incredible. That went back to 1980, was it?
Yeah, that's right.
In Amsterdam?
Arnhem. Still
Arnhem.
Same country.
Right, I knew it was somewhere around there, and it started with A, so it wasn't too bad.
Exactly.
So that went back to 1980, and we were talking about previous World Championship results. So we said that the defending champion isn't here, Al-Rayani of the UAE.
He won last year, yes.
But then, before that, there was a period where you pretty much dominated as the world champion in the R7 event.
I think I had all the world championships from 1998. I didn't win in 98, but after that I won every one until I retired in the last world championship that I shot was 2014.
Yeah.
And I won that as well.
Amazing.
So this used to be my cup of tea.
So what was R7? I mean, you competed quite a lot of rifle events, but was R7 your particular specialism, would you say?
It was probably the one where I had quite compared to shooters. I was pretty good at all three positions. So usually I did a fairly good score. I was quite confident in mobility in this event.
You know, in shooting, one thing in Olympic and Paralympic shooting, one thing is, you know, you could be the world #1 for months and years and be on really hot form, but sometimes you just have a bad day. But how is it that on all these huge days you had that consistency?
Yeah, I did. And I did a lot of training, and my lowest level was still good enough. Actually, what I did was that from pretty much mid-90s until 2012, I didn't even try to shoot a really great score. I shot just well enough to be able to win. I had a little bit more to give, and I knew that, so that was sort of gave me a lot of confidence going into the competition as well.
Yeah,
but also I was very, very careful with what sort of ammunition I would choose and what sort of equipment I used to make sure that I had the best that I was.
Really. Does one particular memory stand out of all the things you've done?
The problem is that I won 9 Paralympic games in a row, which I don't think anyone else has done in any sport, and that I've got altogether 30 medals from the Paralympics, which is only one athlete that has more medals, and that's a swimmer. They have a lot of events. So I'm number 2 on the list of number of medals in the Paralympics.
Okay.
So I'm proud of that, but also of probably the final in London when I was 2 points behind going into the final and managed to win. It was just 10 shots in the final then.
Because the format in London 2012 was a little bit different. Unlike now, when you came into the final, the scores don't go to 0.
No, exactly.
They carried over from qualification.
Exactly, and I was 2 points behind going in.
Right.
And it was only 10 shots standing then, so I didn't have that many shots to pick up. but I managed to do that, so that was pretty special for me, particularly since I had my parents on the stands, and it was the first time in 30 years that they actually saw me do a big competition, so I really wanted to win that one.
So that was a good comeback, yeah. And what about in Greece? In Greece, I think it was the Paralympic Games where you won a gold in every event you competed in, was it?
Yeah, that's right, that's right. I managed to actually win all of them for them, so that was very special as well.
Amazing. Athens 2004. Amazing.
They're getting into the siding, and you can see Doroshenko here. He shoots from the ground.
Yes.
For our next competition series, low.
And if you're using a wheelchair and a table, then you are allowed to have both elbows on the table, as you did this on Swiss at them.
We have shooting from the chair, and I think we have 2 shooters from the ground, if I'm correct.
That's right, yeah. I believe, if I'm not wrong, I believe it's Doron Shaziri is the other one who is shooting from the ground. So the prone position's off, and usually this is quite rapid because there's a lot more stability with the rifle, so the shooters tend to take their shots quite quickly, and they're given less time as well. Doroshenko straight in with a 10.7. You can see him on screen right now. Shaziri 10.5. I would expect the Israeli to be strong in this particular position because Guy Starek, his coach, was a prone specialist.
Yes. The thing is, Doran has had a bit of a problem with getting some of these shots up to the right, just like the 9.2 he just shot. He shoots well, and then suddenly gets one up there. And Guy we were talking about just this, and Guy didn't know exactly what the problem was. You can see also that on Doran's rifle here, there's an extension tube that makes the rifle a bit longer.
Yes, that's actually a little bit of a plug there, because that's Starek's company, isn't it?
Starek's company, yeah.
Shaziri, well, he just shot another 9, and he had a little bit of a shift in his bodily position, so he wants to try and change things. Well, Qian of China, he shot 2 10.8s in a row with his 3rd and 4th shot.
Shooting really well.
And as it stands, the Chinaman is in 1st place.
He's got 42.2 after 4 shots, and that's a high score.
Yeah, really high. He's likely to hit over 52 there. Doroshenko, the Ukrainian, has hit 52. 52 exactly. 52.4 is the resulting score for Tian of China.
He's doing really well.
Very well. Tian hasn't actually won a medal in this R7 event before, and he's in a good position to do so at the moment. Maybe a bit of a disappointing score for Park Jin-ho. He's still in 2nd position, 1.6 behind Tian, but he finished that series with 49.8. Dong Chao, also of China, who's currently in 5th place, but only by 0.1 shot over 50. That was a 50.8. Kozhem Yakin, the Russian, and Shuranyi of Serbia, they are joint 7th position at the moment, and they're just on 6th place, and you can see that now.
Behind Dong in 5th. We've got another series now of 5 shots.
There's 2 points between 2nd and 3rd, Park and Doroshenko.
If I'm not wrong, I think that Xiao Dong used to shoot from the ground as well, but now shooting from a table.
The 2nd series in prone is underway. Shuranyi starts that with an 8.9. 10.5 from Dong and Park.
Shaziri has a chance to move up. He's only 0.2 behind the Russian.
Yeah, as it stands. The Russian Kozhemyakin has just shot a 9.4. Here is Shaziri on screen at the moment. 2 low 10s, but steady for Shaziri. A 10.8 for Park with his second shot. .7 for the Chinese shooter Tian, still currently in first place. 10.7 was his third shot. Another 10 for Shaziri. They've all been either 10.1 or 10.2. Tian shoots his second 10.7 in a row.
Shooting extremely well, Tian.
Dong finishes his second series in prone with 51.1, which is a little better than his first series by 0.3. Doroshenko has quite a noticeable drop between his first and second series.
Behind Dong here, we can see Guy Starrick, the Israeli coach.
Yeah, Guy Starrick also coaches both Olympic and Paralympic shooting. Shaziri finished the series with 4 10s, but his fifth shot was a 9.4. He remains in 6th, but he's got a bit of work to do because it's 3.4 between Shaziri in 6th and Zhu in 5th. Tian of China finishes that series with a 1.2 difference ahead of Park. You can see that on the screen now. And there's a little bit of a gap now between second and third. So the top two are really pulling away because between Park and Doroshenko is a 3.5 difference.
It's very close between third and fourth. Dong is only 0.1 behind Doroshenko.
Yeah. So this is going to be the third and final series in the prone position. The highest score in the second series of prone came from Park in second place with 51.9. That was a really good improvement over his first series in prone. He strengthened it by over 2 points. .7 from Park with his first shot.
Shaziri keeps getting his bad shots up high, and that is the problem he's had.
Yeah, he just shot a 9.4 with his first shot, but follows it up with a 10.7. 10.7 for Shuranyi, 10.7 for Kozhemyakin. 10.7 for the leader Tian as well. Some really good shots coming in, pretty much all at the same time actually.
Dong has a really good string going now. He's only got one shot to go. He's got 40.9, so
yeah,
there's a good chance of getting over 51 again here.
Tian, meanwhile, the other Chinaman, has shot a couple of... Well, Shaziri shot another high 9, but then he came in with the perfect 10.9 with his fourth shot. Dong of China finished with a 10.7, and yeah, as you said, Jonas, he finishes with 51.6. Dong currently in 4th position. A good round for Doroshenko. The Ukrainian finishes with 51.8 in his third series. Shaziri follows up a 10.9 with a 10.5. And that is the prone position over as well. So the highest of the scores in that final series in prone came from Doroshenko, 51.8. He's in 3rd place, 3 points behind second. He's cut down the lead just a little bit. but actually all of the athletes in that final series in prone hit over 50. But we see now across the scoreboard there are some wider gaps opening up. So between 4th and 5th is a 2.6 between Chao and Sungjul Ju.
Now there's a 9-minute changeover between prone and standing, and the standing will be quite interesting. That's where there'll be a variety of shots.
Yeah.
If you have a bad shot there, it can be a really bad shot.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. We have a couple of shooters that has a lot to catch up.
In Olympic shooting, standing really, let's say, sorts out the men from the boys, because it's probably the most difficult part of the competition, and sometimes you do see some erratic shots going in, and you see some real surprises in the leaderboard as well. Because if you're good at standing, it can really elevate you up the leaderboard if you're a specialist in it.
At this range, actually, in the Olympics in 2000, there was a really surprising end in the Olympic final. Matt Emmons was in the lead, and he shot a 3 or whatever it was in the last shot, and ended up being going from first place down to, I think, 8th.
Yeah,
and he did the same thing in the games before that. He shot it on the wrong target.
Right.
Or actually, shot on the wrong target in Athens.
Yes,
2004.
Now I've never
2 Olympics in a row.
Yeah, I've never talked to him about this, but it's he made a crossfire, which is really hard to imagine, because
last shot.
In the last shot, it's an unbelievable thought. I have seen it happen once. Ironically, it was in 2016, and the guy who made that crossfire, i.e. shot the wrong target, guess whose target he shot onto? Matt Emmons. He did. Yeah.
So Emmons has the right number of shots, but they weren't his.
Yes, yes. So it was, but it's but you how that happened. That's such a dramatic moment as well, when Matt Emmons was on for the gold, and he managed to do that.
I know he was on Letterman after that.
Was he really?
And he said it was the best PR for shooting.
Right.
The only thing he could have done that would have been more PR for shooting would be if he incidentally shot someone in the foot.
Yeah. Yeah, unbelievable.
So here's been 9 overchanging time and sighting time. So you have a little bit more time between these positions than what you had between the kneeling and prone.
Yeah.
But it also takes a little bit longer to sight in standing than what it does in prone. There's I haven't seen exactly how many, but there is a lot of different rifles here. We got Walther, we got Gröninger Elminger, and we've got Blikers, and we've got I'm not sure if we have any Farwick Bows in the final, but there's a lot of different rifles that you choose from your own personal liking. You tend to like one rifle better than the others, and it suits you better, so that's why you use it probably.
I mean, they're obviously all world-class brands, but is it
exactly.
the way that it feels in your hands, or?
It's the way they feel. It feels in your hands, and they're made a little bit different, and one thing might suit you better than the next shooter. So you can mainly amazing. I shoot Leica in the 50 meters. If I would shoot today, maybe I'd use a Walther, because the reason why I chose Walther, because Leica was the bolt is smaller, so the loading movement is quite short, and I like that in the prone event. So that was mainly the reason why I used Leica. So now the others have the same sort of setup.
And in the standing position, we can see that Doron Shaziri is taking the standing position, but if the athlete is in a wheelchair, they don't have any support for their arms or elbows. They have to hold the rifle.
Yeah, from your waist up, it's the same position for everyone.
We have a few questions to go, not over yet. Question 2. How many parallel
The rifles weigh approximately 4.5 to 5.5 kilograms, so it's not.
It's a bit more in free rifle. In air rifle, you have a limit on 5.5. In free rifle, the limit is 8.5. So usually the free rifles weigh a little bit more. I think mine was about 6 kilos.
Yeah.
But usually you don't want them too heavy.
Yeah. But at the same time, 6 kg is still a fair weight to be holding in such a stable position for a competition like this.
Yeah. That's an advantage in the prone, but it can sometimes be a disadvantage in the standing because it's more tricky to hold it still with the long tube on. So you need to have you need to think when you put it on, because you might have to change things for the standing. You see Shaziri here, he has a long tube, but he's put his front sight not at the far end of the tube, a little bit down the tube.
Yeah.
Also on his rifle you can see that there is a weight on the tube. And that weight you can move forward or backwards a little bit to get the rifle to perform in a better way. You sort of tune the rifle almost like a piano.
Right.
Is it A, the koala, B, the box jellyfish, or C, the nebulous omnibus?
Our announcer Jamie is just entertaining the crowd with a quiz and a giveaway at the moment.
Big question. Yes, so which of the following is responsible for more deaths than snakes, sharks, and crocodiles? So it could be A, the koala.
We can see just to the right of Shaziri is a Paralympic shooter who shoots phone days from
E, the box jellyfish. Is the right answer. So that's 2-2, yeah? That's 2-2. Okay, I'm going to put you all out of your misery. This is basically a tie-breaking question.
Also today we have the R8 final, which is the women's 3 positions final. That's going to be a little bit later on.
A, 2, B, 3, or C, 4. Background colour doesn't count. I think Sim's hand went up, but I think his hand went up first. You would say that you're from Korea, but you're neutral over there. You're from Greece, aren't you?
So on screen we could see just to the top left. We can see one of your shooter that you
Yeah,
coach.
that's the Danish shooter that I just missed out in the final, and you can see that they're doing hand signals to him up there.
Right.
He's in a wheelchair, but he also has a hearing problem. So
how do you find the communication?
it's interesting.
An extra challenge.
It's a bit of a challenge, but he's really good at picking up what you mean.
Yeah.
So, you see that the girl there is an interpreter in sign language.
That's
So
amazing.
in training and also in hearing competition, I talk to him through her.
And thank you everyone else for enjoying.
Yes, she's obviously a sign language professional.
Yeah.
Wow.
2 minutes until the first series of 5 shots will take place in the standing. There are 2
great.
series of 5 shots in this position in total.
How have you found, you retired after Rio 2016, how have you found the coaching? Do you miss the shoot a little bit? Are you satisfied and comfortable coaching now?
No, I'm satisfied coaching. I've only, I've shot the 3P once this year.
Have you?
That's the only, I just brought a rifle to shoot a 3P when we were training down in Denmark, but that's the only 3P I've shot this year. So I'm happy with coaching at the moment, yeah.
And just in case for anyone listening, you are actually Swedish, but you're coaching a Danish shooter at the moment.
Yes, I'm coaching. I'm the head coach of the Danish shooting team.
And how different has the transition been? What do you enjoy about the coaching? Have you had to learn some new skills?
The thing is, I do a little bit of training myself still as a shooter, because I find it easier to understand what they're going through if I still keep my shooting a little bit fresh.
Right.
So I'm trying to do that mainly for that. And that makes it easier for me to put myself a bit more in their position when they're shooting. But it is quite interesting, and I enjoy it a lot. I've also been coaching some of the able-bodied shooters still on the ISSF circuit, and that's also interesting. So no, I enjoy coaching, and it's always fun to see when you can help another shooter become better, and give them a little bit of what you can do and help them out.
Yeah, rules which are identical for all of the competitions, but also the people who are involved in the sport as well. You just said that yourself, Jonas, and I take us back. I mean, it's been 2.5 years since I've actually seen you, I think, because the last time we met was when we did a commentary at the Munich World Cup for the ISSF in the Olympic shooting. And we happen to remember that was the last time that the Norwegian shooter Malin Westerheim was shooting, and she now coaches, or rather is one of the assistants in the Paralympic shooting for the Norwegian team. Well, the standing position has started, and Doroshenko of Ukraine with a 10.4, but Shuranyi of Serbia with a 10.9 straight in there. And that's exactly what he needs, because he was in 8th position, the Serbian, before that 10.9. So if he continues like that, he could really propel himself up the leaderboard.
Yeah, we will probably see a bit of changes now in this position.
Yeah, well, the top two, Tian and Park, both started with a 9. Shuranyi follows up a 10.9 with a 10.2, a 10.7 for Doroshenko. So at the moment, it looks like the Ukrainian and the Serbian, maybe they're the specialists in the standing position. In elevates 2 places up table. Here is the Serbian, who just shot a 9.3.
The Russian is having problems in this position, not shooting his best.
Yeah, Kozhemyakin, as it stands, is in 8th place, and he started the standing series with 2 9s and then shot an 8.7, so he's finding it difficult. But good experience for him to be in this final, because it is his first R7 final. He's never been in one before, and maybe it will lead on to something more in the future.
I'm sure it will. I've seen that he's doing a lot of training, and he's doing both physical training and also a lot of shooting. So I'm sure he will be improving in the future.
Doroshenko, Ukrainian, 10.5 with his 4th shot. He's going to finish this standing series on a strong score, the Ukrainian. Here he is on screen now. He shoots, and it's a 10.6. He's had a fantastic series. 52 points in the standing position for Doroshenko.
That's an extremely good standing position that he's performed.
Well, we remind you that before the standing series started, Doroshenko was about points behind 2nd position. But he's really going to cut that down to... My maths isn't so good, but let's say it's going to be cut down.
Yeah, it's going to be probably 1 point.
Very, very good.
Depending on what Park gets in the last shot, and he had a 9.6.
Yeah, the Korean has only had a couple of 10s in this standing series so far.
So it's only 0.5 between Park and Doroshenko now.
0.5. Wow. So in just one series of standing, Doroshenko has managed to make up 3 points. Amazing. 52 for Doroshenko is easily the highest score of the standings so far. Park finishes his series on 49.4. Tian hits over 50. A 50.5 to be exact, which is the same score as his Chinese teammate Dong, currently in 4th place.
Oh, that was our first series of 5 shots in the standing position. Positions, speaking of positions, there is no change in the top position.
And we remind you also that Tian of China has never won a medal in R7 before. And he looks very good to do so. But look at that, between 4th and 5th, there's a
7
huge
points.
gap.
Yeah, I saw that. It's all about the first 4 and the last 4.
Yeah, 7.3 between Dong in 4th and Zhu in 5th. Kozhemyakin has been cut a little bit adrift at the bottom of the table. It's a 2.5 gap between him and Shuranyi of Serbia.
But it's very close between the top 4 shooters, and it's very close between the bottom 4 as well.
Yeah. Yeah, the table seems to be split in half at the moment. But we're starting to reach the ending stages of the competitions. There's going to be one more series of 5 shots in standing before 5 single shots. And at the end of this standing series, there is going to be a double elimination to decide 8th and 7th. Well, Doroshenko hasn't gone higher in this final than 3rd place so far, but I wonder if he's going to make a late push for even the gold.
Yeah, yeah, he could. He absolutely could.
He's just shot a 10.2. His nearest competitor, Park of Korea, has shot a 10.6.
Park is a really good standing shooter in air rifle as well. His air rifle results are usually over 624, so he can shoot standing.
Shaziri, the Israeli, with a 10.6 in his second shot. This is Park, who you could see on screen then. There he is. Follows up in 0.62. Just take a little breather.
Doroshenko 10.4.
Well, they're both shooting well at the moment, the athletes in 2nd and 3rd.
Tian started these 5 shots with 2 10s, but now a 9.4. And here we can see him do his 4th shot. 10.3.
That's 3 10s in the series so far for Doroshenko, and crucially, Park has just hit an 8.7. So this is the opportunity for Doroshenko to make a push now, because he's, as it stands, in 2nd place. .5 for Tian with his 4th shot. Ooh. 8.3 for the Ukrainian, so he's almost certainly going to fall back into 3rd. Having said that, Park has just shot a 9.2.
Yeah. Tian is shooting. He's got doing a solid match. Not making any major mistakes, and getting the
pretty
10s
consistent.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, Tian, who has led the final really since the first series. Going back, has finished the series.
By the looks of it, it'll be Suryani and the Russian that will be number 7 and 8.
Yes. Yeah, this doesn't look like the Russian Kozhemyakin is going to be able to turn it round.
If he's supposed to, he needs to shoot 2 really good 10s the last 2 shots. And he shot a 9.8 there, so this looks like this will be his last shot.
Yeah. So that's the end of the 2nd series. It is confirmed then that 8th place is going to be for Andrei Kozhemyakin of Russia. It is his first final, so an achievement already. And let's not forget that because of this position, he's won a quota place for Tokyo 2020.
I'm sure he's really happy with that. Absolutely.
So well done to Kozymiakin. And 7th place is Laszlo Shuranyi, the Paralympic champion in this event.
World Championships with a total of 394.8, representing Serbia. Make some noise for Laszlo Shuranyi.
Well, he's deciding for first place.
Yes.
He has 1.6 to catch up.
Yeah, 1.6. He's going to need something really big, but not only that, he's going to have to hope that the others around him don't shoot that well. But there's a 1.6 deficit for Shaziri to make up.
Meanwhile, breathing down Park's neck is Doroshenko, still in third place, still of the Ukraine, just 0.1.
And there's a 3.8 advantage for Tian at the top of the scoreboard now. Only a 0.1 between second and third, so Doroshenko can still push higher than a bronze.
On his closest rival, Zhu. We're into the single shots now. 5 in a time of 50 seconds.
Having said that, Dong Chao of China could even move into the medal positions if he continues shooting well, because he's only 0.4 behind third position.
That 8 that Doroshenko shot can cost him
Yes.
the medal.
Yeah, it really could, because he finished that series with 49.3. If it wasn't for that 8, he could have been in second position. So here is Shaziri on screen, who needs to try and turn around a 1.6 to go higher than 6. It's another 8 for Doroshenko.
Same place as well. Down to the right.
9.5 for Shaziri.
And 9.3 on Zhu. So Shaziri will be eliminated as number 6.
Yeah. So Doron Shaziri, who won bronze at Rio 2016 in this event, is going to take 6th place. Well, look at that. Dong has moved into the medal positions now. Doroshenko shot another 8, and he falls out into 4th place, and he's really going to need to make a strong comeback to get, because he's done so well throughout the competition, but he's in danger of losing a medal here. Tian going really well. He's now got a 4.4 advantage, and 5th place is almost certain, because there's a 7.7 gap between Doroshenko and Zhu in 4th and 5th.
I'd say 5th is pretty much Korean, and it'll be really a fight for the bronze medal.
Yeah, there's a big fight for the bronze medal. The
and the silver as well.
Yes, the advantage currently with Dong in the bronze position, but only a 0.4 between him and silver. Could Dong even go higher into the silver position? It's entirely possible.
Shaziri in the background being a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, I was going to say he looks a little bit disappointed with his finish. Tian just shot at 10.8, so he's looking very, very good for gold. Park and Doroshenko hitting a 9, but Dong shooting a 10.5.
30 seconds.
Yes, Dong has business money.
Down on 4th.
Well, Ju Sung-chul of Korea, who you can see on screen at the moment, finishes in 5th place. It was an 8-point difference between him and 4th. But Doroshenko, the Ukrainian, has now fallen a point behind the medal positions.
Those 2 8s cost him the fight for the silver and bronze.
They really did. He had such a good competition, especially to start the standing. His first series in standing was excellent, the Ukrainian. But those 2 8s might just cost him. Tian leading the final by 5 points.
He has shot extremely well. It'll end up on a really good score.
Doroshenko, a 1-point deficit between him and the bronze position. Oh, he's
9-1.
looks like his competition's over. It's a 9.1. 10.6 for Qian.
He shoots extremely well.
He's after this shot, he's going to have a 6-point advantage. Well, 5.8 to be exact. But he lost the medal just on those last few.
And it's 0.9 between Dong and Park.
Yes, so Park and Dong have just swapped places in second and third again. Well, we can say it's been a good year for the Ukrainian because he did actually win his first gold medal in this event at the World Cup in Osijek in Croatia. So I'm sure we'll see him in plenty more finals with some medals to take home.
So, his next shot is the bronze medal.
Let's see if Tian can get up to maybe 460.
Yeah.
61, 62. Which is a really good score.
So it's between these two. Jinho Park of Korea is in second as it stands, but there's only a 0.9 difference between him and Dong, who you can see on the right-hand side. Can Dong win the silver in this shot? It's a 9.9.
On both.
And 9.4 for Park. And that's going to be enough for the Korean.
By 0.4.
So, Dong Chao, who won bronze at the London 2012 Paralympic Games, wins bronze medal here at the Sydney 2019 Paralympic World Championships. Well done to him.
Nice well.
The result is certain, really, now, because Qian Fugang is leading the final by 6.5.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same as Matt Emmons was in front in his finals.
Well, I didn't want to mention it again, but since you said that, really the only way that Qian could now lose this is
a crossfire.
If he shoots the wrong target, but that would be some shock. He's in a very, very good position. And if he shoots another 10, well, he's definitely in a good place to shoot over 4.61, which is a very, very good score. Qian finished 6th place in the final in the UAE this year, and he's never won a medal.
He finishes with a 9.8.
It's enough, of course.
It's enough.
And he does break 460. 460.6 is the final score for Qian Fugang, who is the new world champion. He's looked really calm and composed throughout the final, Qian.
Yeah, he did, and he shot really well all through the final. He didn't make any mistakes. He had a couple of 9s, but he didn't let that affect him. He just kept going.
And understandably, looks a little bit emotional at that win. He is the new world champion. A huge congratulations to Qian Fugang of China, his first medal of any kind in this competition. And in silver position is Park Jinho of Korea.
And I'm sure we'll see more of Park in the air rifle as well. He's a really good shooter there as well.
Well, in 2 consecutive World Championships, going last year in Korea and now here in Sydney, Park Jinho has been the silver medalist. So he continues his good form from a year ago, and he was also the 2014 Para-Asian Games champion, which he won in his home country as well.
And I think in 14 he got the bronze medal in this event as well.
Right. Good performances at the World Championship. So congratulations to these guys. Qian Fugang in the middle, the new world champion. On the right-hand side, Dong Chao for China, bronze medal. And on the left-hand side, as we say, 2 consecutive World Championship silver medals in this particular event. Park Jinho of the Republic of Korea.
And the gold medal, representing the People's Republic of China, goes to
The medalist just being presented to the spectators at the moment.
So congratulations to all of our
Well, congratulations to the medalists once again and to the participants of today's competitions. We have been live on the YouTube channel for the Paralympic Games, also the Facebook page for World Shooting Parasport. You can like, subscribe and share, and we hope that you'll do so as well. Obviously, you can also watch back these finals when the live stream has ended. And that is the same case for all of the finals at the World Shooting Parasport Championships in Sydney 2019. Jonas, it's always a pleasure to see you, and it's always interesting to talk to you and get your experience and your knowledge and recount some nice anecdotes. I'm sure Matt Emmons will be happy as well. But thank you very much for joining us, and we'll hope to speak to you again, and best of luck with your Danish shooter.
Yeah, thank you very much. We'll try to do our best.
Good luck to Jonas, and thank you. We'll hope that you can join us again. The next final is the R8 Women's 50-meter rifle, 3 positions, SH1.